All right, mister, you're paid your quarter. There's the rifle. Take your shot.
Stop. Put down that gun.
What's wrong, lady?
Well, look, behind the target he's shooting at. Running down the side of the wall. See it? That's blood.
Well, there's a dead body behind that target. Police! Murder!
WOR Mutual presents the distinguished American actor Walter Hamden in The Adventures of Leonidas Witherall.
Witherall's always getting mixed up in murder.
You wouldn't think so. He looks just like Shakespeare.
It's his beard, and he's the head of an important school for boys in New England.
He also writes the thriller stories on the side, the Lieutenant Hazeltine stories.
But Leonidas is engaged in much more vital business now, isn't he, Mr. Hamden?
Yes, business that takes precedence over all of Leonidas's regular activities. The neighborhood housekeeper in Dalton, Witherall's close friend, Mrs. Mullet, has entered a contest to determine who makes the finest preserves in the state. The contest is a feature of the annual state fair, and Witherall has borrowed a horse and buggy in which he's now heading for the fair. Get up there, girl. Mrs. Mullet, you should have no difficulty at all in winning this contest. As something of an epicure, I can say your preserves are perfect.
Well, I'm going to have mighty hard competition, though, Mr. Witherall. That Mrs. Axelbent's not easy to please.
Mrs. Axelbent?
Mm-hmm. She's going to be the judge. Going to taste all the entries. Very uppity she is. Might not like my preserves at all.
Prefers axle grease, perhaps.
Well, don't you know Mrs. Axelbent?
Yes, met her once. Her face is familiar, but her name is impossible.
She's a divorcee, you know.
Oh?
She was married to that farmer in Berry County, Mr. Axelbent. Now she's going to marry the wealthiest farmer in the county, a Mr. Fribbits.
Axelbent, Fribbits. For a moment, I thought she was making a change for a better name. Wrong again. Come on there, gal. Get up. Go on.
She divorced him about 2 years ago. They say he never got over it either. Still very jealous. And he used to be very pleasant. Now he's gloomy all the time.
Rufus, I haven't time to talk to you now. Come and see me some other day.
You're always too busy to talk to me.
Oh, don't be tiresome, dear. Now, I really must go. I'm due at the state fair. I'm to be a judge.
I'm going to the fair myself, entering a prize bull. Before you get out of here, I have something to say. You marry Fribbits, I won't let you.
Rufus, we've been legally divorced, and it's so painful to go over all of our differences again. I've told you before, you're the most insanely jealous man on earth. That's why I divorced you. That's why you're behaving now like a hopeless fool.
You made me jealous, playing up to every fellow we met.
Oh, you imagined all that. Why upset yourself?
You don't love Fribbits any more than you love me. He's the wealthiest farmer in the state. That's what you're after.
Now, that's very unfair. You've no idea of how I feel about him.
I know how you feel about everything. It either pays off for you or it doesn't. Now, get this. If I can't have you, no other man will. Remember what the minister said? Whom God hath joined together...
You're being very final about something that's none of your business.
Before you marry that man, I'd rather see you dead first. I will see you dead first.
Mrs. Axelbent never did strike me as a very pleasant person, Mrs. Mullet. Possibly because she was always so deliberately pleasant. She has such an even disposition, irritating all the time.
Oh, you turn to the left here.
Uh-huh. Where you going there, you old plug? Get up there now. Go on.
Well, this Mr. Fribbits, the man she's going to marry, he has the best-looking son. Randy's his name. They say Randy's not very happy about that woman marrying his father. He's always been kind of a hot-tempered lad anyway. Doesn't relish having her as a stepmother.
You want me out of the way, don't you, Mrs. Axelbent?
Why, no, Randy. Why'd you say that?
Because I always tell the truth. You're not marrying my father because you love him. You want to own this farm.
And you've always expected to inherit the farm yourself. Is that it?
I've worked on this farm since I was old enough to stand up. That gives me a good claim, doesn't it?
Randy, why don't you take, what's that girl's name?
Connie? Connie Maplegrove?
Yes. Why don't you marry Connie and get away from the farm? Earn a living in your own way, under your own steam. Why do you feel content to just sit back and wait till your father dies?
Go away, huh? I'm wise to this dirty game you're playing, but I've one sure way to cut it short.
What in the world are you talking about?
You keep trying to marry my father and take the farm away from me, you'll see what I'm talking about. The ceremony will have to be postponed, because nobody can marry a dead bride.
There's the fair right up ahead of us, Mr. Witherall.
Uh-huh, so it is. I want to wish you luck, Mrs. Mullet. I'll be very surprised if you don't win.
We can tie up over there. Looks like a parking place.
All right. Oh, girl. Oh. I'll just tie her up here. You know, only see hitching posts at the fair these days.
There's Mrs. Axelbent, standing by that first booth. See her? My, how she's dressed. Decorated like an admiral's flagship, ain't she?
Yes, decorated when the admiral wasn't looking. Hold still now there, girl. That's it.
Hello there, Mrs. Axelbent.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Mullet. Oh, I know you.
Hmm?
That beard. Now, just a minute, Oh, of course. The man who looks like Shakespeare. You're Leonidas Witherall.
Yes, Mrs. Axelbent. And how are you? How's every little thing?
Are you going to judge this preserves contest, Mrs. Axelbent?
Oh, hello, Mrs. Wacker.
Well, Mrs. Wacker, you know Mr. Witherall, don't you? Mrs. Wacker does most of the folks' laundry back in Dalton.
Well, how do you do, Mrs.
Answer my
Wacker?
question. Are you going to judge the preserves contest, Mrs. Axelbent?
Yes, I'm to be the judge.
Well, I'm taking back my jar if you're to be the judge.
My dear woman, I hardly think a scene at this time.
I don't care who hears me. I'll take my jar back, thank you. I couldn't win if you're the judge. You're set against me.
Now, after all...
Everyone knows about you and me. They know you're trying to take my boy away from me.
Well, merely suggested to the ladies' council that I hardly think a laundry is a fit place to raise a baby.
My baby's very healthy and very happy.
Well, perhaps we could discuss this some other time, eh?
We'll talk about it now.
What's the matter? What's the matter? The women having a fight?
Oh, just ironing out a baby.
Where do they think they are?
Now, you're making a scene, and this is in very bad taste.
You wouldn't talk to me in that house of yours, and so we'll talk now.
Come on, Mrs.
Oh, you let go of me. You leave me alone. You wouldn't dare to take away my baby, you sniveling, nosy body, you cheap hypocrite.
Your son hasn't a proper home.
For what it's supposed to be, my son has the finest home in town.
But it's for the boy's own good.
You couldn't take my son away from me in a million years. You've nothing in your own life to satisfy you, and so you make up for it by meddling with everyone else's.
This promises to be the most jelly-shaking contest in history.
You meddle with my life and you'll pay for it. You take my baby from my house and I'll kill you. And God would forgive me, too.
Ah, these country fairs, so peaceful, the hope of a new world.
You know, I'm sorry for you, Mrs. Wacker. Terribly sorry. So many people in your circumstances are blind to what's best for them.
Oh, Mrs. Axelbent.
Oh, yes, Mr. Bradley.
Could you change your plans a bit? I mean about the preserves contest.
Why, what's wrong?
We'd rather have you at the war bond booth. It's much more important to sell bonds, and, well, you're so popular.
Yes, isn't she?
And we thought it would be better if someone else would judge the preserves.
Oh, well, who'll judge 'em? Who could we get?
Why, those little jelly jars are causing one crisis after another, aren't they? Before being eaten, too.
Let's see. Somebody around here could do it.
Well, Mr. Witherall could do it.
Now, hold on, Mrs. Mullet, please.
Oh, would you, Mr. Witherall? Oh, I'd appreciate it so much.
Well, as a gastronomist, I'm afraid I'm caviar to the general.
What's that?
Shakespeare, I thought you said you recognized me.
Oh, go on, Mr. Witherall.
I'd like him to do it. He looks like a very honest man.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. Wacker. To be honest, as this world goes, is to be one man picked out of 10,000.
Hey, what's wrong here?
Oh, just a discussion, Rufus. We need someone to take my place judging the preserves. Do you all know Mr. Axelbent?
Well, how do you do?
Hurry up and settle it. I just took Dalton Chancery, Prince Igor IV, over to his pen.
Dalton Chancery, Prince Igor IV, pen name of a writer?
It's my prize bull.
Oh.
Trouble getting him here, too. It's very wild today. See him? In the booth with the flag on it?
Yes. He looks formidable, as the English say, doesn't he?
Well, get going here, folks. I've no time to waste.
All right. I'll do my best as a jelly taster.
Hey, what's up? Why don't you get things started?
Well, I'm not going to judge the preserves, Randy. Mr. Witherall is. Do you know everyone? Randy Privet.
Come on, get going, folks.
Everybody over to booth number 3 for the preserve contest.
Booth number 3.
Hey, you see my bull, Randy? I bet you we come out on top this year.
You think so?
Yeah.
Here's my jar, Mr. Witherall.
Mine. There's about 2 dozen others already in the booth.
I'll steer the crowd over. You get up on the platform, Mr. Witherall.
See you later, Shakespeare, and thank you for taking my place.
See you later.
By the way, here's our entry, Mr. Witherall. We should walk away with the contest. My fiancée made these. Connie Maple Grove.
Oh, all right, Randy. Let me first hop up on this platform. There we are.
Quiet, everybody. Quiet, everybody. Quiet, please. Thank you. Here's a clean spoon, Mr. Witherall. You can start any time now.
Start clean, eh? All right, Mr. Bradley. Here goes.
What's wrong back there?
The back of this wild bull! He broke out of his pen. He's heading this way.
Come on down off that platform, Mr. Witherall. Why, the bull's liable to pick you out.
Me? Pick me out. Oh, you flatter me.
Well, there he comes. Get out of the way, everybody.
Stand back, everybody. Don't push.
Don't get near him, anybody. He's my bull. He's my bull. I know him. He'll claw you to death. Dalton, boy. Go back to your pen. Go back.
Why, that bull's running around like he's crazy.
That crowd pushing so much, I can hardly stand up.
Look out, Randy. You'll knock over that jar of preserves.
Oh,
Gosh, your coat. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it, Mr. Witherall. Now you've got that jelly all over your coat.
well, of all things to happen, spilling preserves all over his coat.
Don't move, everybody. Hey, if you start to run, that bull of mine will kill you.
Come down off that platform, Mr. Witherall. The bull's looking at you.
At me?
Well, yes. Don't move now. Don't budge an inch.
That bull's too close for comfort.
Don't run, Witherall. He'll go after you.
Get out of my way, everybody.
Everybody got a gun, let's shoot him.
Hey, don't you dare shoot my bull.
But he'll drive those horns right into Mr. Witherall. Oh, don't run. Oh, good heavens. Somebody save him. Save Mr. Witherall. Well, the bull's almost caught him. Faster, Mr. Witherall, faster.
Help! Hey, he's got him near that wall. Don't back up against that wall. He'll get you into a trap.
Oh, I can't look. It'll be horrible. Look. Mr. Witherall's up against that wall. While the bull's going to charge. He's getting set. Do something.
Take off your coat, Witherall. Throw your coat at him. It might stop him.
Might make him angrier, too.
You've got to take that chance. Take off your coat. Throw it at him.
All right, I'll try anything. Here goes.
Why, it's working. The bull's looking at his coat.
Yeah, thank goodness for that. I thought it'd distract him.
The bull's goring his coat.
Well, that's a lot better than going Mr. Witherall.
All right, Randy. You, Joe, a couple of you men. Sneak up on him. Grab him. We can pull him back to the pen. He'll be quiet now. Yeah, he's taking quite a fancy to Witherall's coat.
Yes, lucky it was covered with jelly.
Come on now, slow. Easy. Sneak up. Okay. Be careful. Okay, I got him. Now, hold on now.
Thanks.
We got him.
Right. Easy now, easy, Dalton, boy. Calm down now.
What'd you want to break out of the pen and scare all these people for, huh? Come on, calm down, boy.
Well, isn't anybody going to ask about me?
You all right, Mr. Witherall?
I'll be all right as soon as I get my heart out of my mouth.
Well, that was just about the most terrible thing I've ever seen happen to you, Mr. Witherall. It was your own fault, though. You shouldn't have started to run.
Yes, I knew it was my fault. In fact, while I was making my 100-yard dash from the platform with the bull's horns flirting with my coattails all the way, I kept thinking of that famous phrase, "Is this trip necessary?"
All right, folks, all right. Come on, break it up. No need to crowd around. Lots of other booths are open here.
Why, look at that bull chewing on your coat. Oh, it's a shame you have to lose it.
Well, let the poor little thing keep it. I'm warm enough now to get along without it. And anyway, those preserves...
He seems to like those preserves a lot. Look at the way he's licking them off the coat.
Quite a judge, isn't there? Well, he's usurped my place. Why not give him a spoon, too?
What's the matter, Dalton boy? You tired from chasing Mr. Witherall? Yes, poor Poor Dalton boy.
Yes, hope I didn't frighten him.
Say, this bull of mine looks sick to me.
You look sick. My good man, what do you think I've been doing?
Oh, chasing after you to wore him out.
Wore him out? No, that's odd. Very peculiar.
Running a couple of yards after Mr. Witherall wore out your prize bull.
Well, now listen to him. Look at him wobbling on his feet.
Oh, too bad I wasn't wearing slippers, too.
You want to lie down, Dalton boy? You're feeling bad, huh? Lie down if you want to. Go on, lie down.
Yes, he's been under quite a strain. Perhaps we could get a chaise longue for him.
Never mind being so funny. My bull's sick, and you made him that way.
Well, he made me sick, tit for tat.
Well, the bull does seem pretty badly off, doesn't he?
You keep out of this, Mrs. Wacker. The very idea. The bull nearly kills Mr. Witherall. Now everybody's feeling sorry for the bull. Come on, Mr. Witherall. Let's get out of here.
Yes, a little relaxation is in order, Mrs. Mullet. They probably won't reorganize your jelly contest for a while.
Well, want to stroll around the rest of the fair?
Yes, a very good suggestion.
If this bull of mine's really sick on account of you, Witherall, I'll sue you.
Yes, serves me right, teasing wild bulls. Bye. Come along, Mrs. Mullet.
Doesn't it strike you as very funny that a big husky prize bull would get sick just from running around a bit?
Funny is not the word, Mrs. Mullet.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, I'm walking over here toward the bull's pen purposely. He did not break out by himself.
What?
I'm wondering who let him out. Mrs. Mullet, that word is murderous, perhaps. Look, Mrs. Mullet, there's a shooting gallery.
Well, you're not such a good shot, are you?
Oh, I'm not, eh? I was captain of the Meredith rifle team. Dead-eye Witherall, they called me. I'm for that shooting gallery. Come on.
All right.
No free shots. Here you are, folks. 10 shots for a quarter. They're all trying it. Every man his own commando. Step right up and test your skill.
I'll try it. Here's a quarter.
Yes, all right. Here we are. Going to win a Cupid doll for your girlfriend.
What did you say?
Oh, never mind him, Mrs. Mullet. He means to be complimentary. Say, fella, what's the most difficult object to hit?
Well, now, that clay pipe way over on the left side there. You see it? You hit that thing, and you get a free round. Yeah, plus a gorgeous, rosy-cheeked, blue-eyed, practically genuine Cupid doll.
Get the doll ready. Dead-eye Witherall is about to perform. Now, here we go.
Well, I'm glad you're shooting blanks.
Oh, lady, you couldn't knock anything over with blanks. Those are real bullets. Go on, mister, go on.
Right.
Did you say dead-eye, mister?
I'm merely warming up.
Still warming up.
Mr. Witherall, stop shooting. Put down that gun.
What's the matter?
Why, what's happened?
Well, look on the curtain behind the target. It's trickling down the curtain. It's blood.
Well, she's right. Someone's behind that curtain. Someone's been shot back there.
Come on, let's see. Hurry.
It must be between the curtain and the steel wall. I got a reinforced steel wall behind the target curtain. Holy smokes.
It's Mrs. Axel, then.
Why, she's dead.
Yes, standing up.
Here, look at all that blood. Must be about 15 bullets in her. Blanks, indeed.
Gagged and tied to this pole back of the curtain. No one could see her, but nearly everyone who took a shot was likely to hit her.
Oh, good gracious. I've never in my life seen anything as awful as that. Oh, that pool of blood.
Say, you were the last guy to shoot, mister. I think the cops will want to talk to you, you murderer.
Me?
Oh, just can't stand looking at it. Take me away. Take me away.
Take her away. Help. Police. Murder. Murder.
Take it easy, little man, or you'll wake the dead.
You were shooting to the extreme left of the target curtain, huh, Bill?
That's right, Sergeant McCobble. None of the bullets from my rifle could have hit Mrs. Axelman.
Yeah, murderer sure was a brute. Taking that woman and tying her to the pole there behind that curtain. You know, Bill, she must have tried screaming, but I guess the handkerchief was so tight that she couldn't make much noise. Oh, by the way, who was shooting here just before Shakespeare? Would you recognize him?
Oh, I know some of them. There was a lady, the one that owns a laundry, over in Dalton.
Yeah.
Well, that's Mrs. Wacker.
Mrs. Wacker, and a young fella, the Fribbit boy, Randy Fribbit.
Go on, who else?
Well, the farmer, the farmer, the bull got loose. What's his name? Axel Grease.
Axel Band.
Axel Band. A couple others, too. There's a soldier and some sailors.
Uh-huh.
A couple of...
Say, it makes things kind of tough, doesn't it, Bill?
It is hard to pin on anyone, Sergeant.
Is that so? Well, how about him, Sergeant? Do you know this fella?
Shakespeare?
No, this fella right here.
Why, sure. I've known Mr. Witherall for years. Don't be silly.
Well, why couldn't it have been him? If you ask me, he's a fancy-looking guy. Got a beard. He might be a spy or something.
I'm a spy. Bearded men are either spies or philosophers. I'd rather be a spy.
Here you, Mr. Witherall. I've been looking all over for you.
Oh, Mr. Axelbent, I'm afraid we've some very bad news.
Oh, never mind that. Something important's happened. My bull's dead.
Your bull died?
Yes. Dalton Chancery, Prince Igor IV, my prize bull, died a while after you left, after he chased you. It was your fault, Witherall.
He died, eh? Sergeant McCobble, that's the answer.
What are you thinking of, Bill?
That bull was poisoned.
Poisoned?
Of course. Don't you remember His Royal Highness ate something just before he became ill?
He ate your coat?
No, he licked the preserves off my coat, Mrs. Mullet. And the preserves were poisoned, you see.
Poison preserves. What's this all about? What's the police here for?
Mr. Axelbent, we found your ex-wife in back of this shooting gallery. I should say we found your ex-wife's body. She's been murdered.
Murder?
Bill?
Oh.
Whoever tied Mrs. Axelbent up behind this gallery, he tried to kill her first by poisoning the jelly.
Uh-huh.
You see, because they knew she was going to be the judge of the contest and they'd be tasting each bottle. Isn't that it?
Exactly. Therefore, Sergeant, your problem now is who made the preserves that were spilled on my coat?
Here's the girl who made that jar of poisoned preserves, Bill. Connie Maplegrove.
Oh, Connie.
Yeah, I got her name by checking the number of the broken bottle against the entry list.
Why, she's Randy's sweetheart.
Well, what about it? I don't know anything about this. I did make the preserves, but I never dreamed of killing Mrs. Axelbent.
Connie, darling.
Oh,
just
Randy, it's awful. They think I killed
know,
Mrs.
dear. And I know you're perfectly innocent. You've got no right to keep her here, Sergeant.
Mind your own business, Randy. I'm running this. They tell me, Connie, that if Mrs. Axelbent married Randy's father, your boyfriend would never inherit that big farm his father has.
That's right. But Connie had nothing to do
I'm
with it.
asking Connie the questions, not you.
Well, it's true, but she didn't have any right to get the farm. Randy deserves it. He worked on it all his life.
With that woman out of the way, while you marry Randy, he gets that tremendous farm, and you're sitting pretty. Is that correct?
Oh, I never thought of such a thing. Besides, there's something else you didn't think of.
What's on your mind, Connie?
Well, it's very simple.
Yes, I know, but what's on it?
Oh. Why do you accuse me? Anyone could have poisoned the preserves somehow. It might have been that laundress, Mrs. Wacker. It might have been Mr. Axelbent. He's very jealous.
Strangely enough, Connie, we've already realized there are quite a number of prospects and suspects, too. But you're here for a specific reason.
Besides, the jar of preserves was sealed with paraffin, wasn't it? How could anyone else get poison into that bottle? You're the only person in the world who could have done it, Connie. And you're going to sit there until you tell us the truth.
Yes, we've got the goods on you, all right.
Please, Mrs. Mullet, leave this to me. Now, go on, Connie. Go on. Start talking. Well, go on.
I tell you, I don't know anything about this.
Okay, then we'll just sit here till you change your mind and quit lying.
Yes, we're waiting for you to tell the truth.
Please, Mrs. Mullet, leave this to me. Go on, Connie. Now, it'll be easier for you if you don't stall. You killed Mrs. Axelbent, didn't you? You murdered her, didn't you? You tied her up behind that shooting gallery, and then you went out front, and you paid a quarter for enough bullets to commit cold-blooded murder. Now you're going to hang for
No,
it.
I didn't do it. I didn't.
Come on now. It'll be easier for you if you don't stall.
Please, Mrs. Mullet, leave this to me.
I don't know anything about this. I never wanted to come to the fair. I was afraid something would happen. I didn't want to enter the contest. I really didn't want to come here at all. That's why I sent Randy ahead with my jar. I wanted to stay home.
Just a minute. Didn't you come here with Randy?
No, I came much later. I only been here about 10 minutes. Like I said, I didn't want to come at all.
You weren't here when the contest started, when the bull broke loose?
What bull?
Ah. Sergeant, our problem is not who made the preserves. The murderer is the person who let that prize bull out of his pen.
Let the prize bull out?
Certainly. The killer planned to dispose of Mrs. Axelbent by means of the preserves. Originally, that's obvious. But at the last minute, there was an unexpected change of judges. I took over the role. The killer wasn't after me, thank heaven. So she, or he, had to get rid of that bottle of poison jelly before I tasted it.
So whoever it was let the bull out of the pen as an excuse to start a panic, so as the bottle could be broken.
That's it. The murderer is the person who deliberately broke that bottle of preserves and spilled it on me.
Why, that was...
Grab him, Sergeant.
All right, you stay right where you are. Don't stay here, Randy.
You killed Mrs. Axelbent.
Fiendish way to kill, Randy. Fiendish. Tie up your victim and then deliberately buy the bullets. 10 shots for a quarter. 10 bloody, fatal shots.
Either you stand still or this blackjack of mine's going to make you... Take those handcuffs, Bill. Slip him over his wrists while I hold his arms. That's it. Okay.
I swore she'd never marry my father and take that farm away from me. Well, she didn't. She didn't get it.
No, neither of you will get the farm. That's even-handed justice, so my poet phrased it.
There's just one thing, Bill, about getting the poison into the jar, I mean. It was sealed with paraffin.
Oh, that's easy, Sergeant. An ordinary hypodermic syringe and needle would do the trick. Inject the poison through the paraffin without disturbing it. How about that, Randy?
Did you throw the hypodermic away, or is it still in your pocket?
Well, it's in my pocket. The left-hand pocket.
I'll get it. I'll search it.
Mr. Witherall, he hit the sergeant on the head with a handcuff. There he goes. Stop him.
Stop him. My gun. Take it. Stop him.
Don't shoot. You'll kill him. Randy! Randy!
You got him, Mr. Witherall. Looks like you hit him in the leg. And with just one shot, too.
Of course, just one shot, Mrs. Mullet. Remember, Deadeye is my middle name. Now let's find another shooting gallery, and I'll get you a rosy-cheeked, blue-eyed, practically genuine Cupid doll.
WOR Mutual has presented the distinguished American actor Walter Hampden in The Adventures of Leonidas Witherall. Mrs. Mullet is played by Ethel Ramey. The character of Leonidas Witherall is from the mystery novels by Alice Tilton. The radio script is by Howard Merrill, and the program is directed by Roger Bauer.
I hope you'll make a note to join us then, Sunday, October 8th at 7 p.m. Until then, good night.
The Adventures of Leonidas Witherall came to you from the stage of the WOR Mutual Playhouse in New York. This is Mutual.